Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shemel, Shai, Bashim, Kakwadash. Shalom to the whole elect out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, I had a bunch of titles in my head, but this is what I'm going to entitle this video. The true definition of grape, and is IUIC teaching it. Now they say, the grape doctrine, you bring up the grape in Israel, first camp that's going to pop up is GMS. And when that happened 2013. I believe it was October 2013 when a brother Polite, which basically, as of right now, he's charged with, raping a 14-year-old, the daughter of one of his women, which was it appeared to be an Ephraimite, one of the so-called Latin tribes. And he's going to go on trial May Day, 1776, the founding of the Illuminated Ones. Anyway, this is the newest video that was put up by Vocab Malone, which says IUIC lying on 1 Corinthians 7. I don't see the first there, but I think that's talking about it's talking about a man and a woman. It starts off with a man and a woman. How do you deal? How does a man deal with his wife, and the wife deal with his husband, with her husband? Excuse me. So anyway, I'm gonna let you hear this video. This is not my words, and this is fair use. He gonna get some anyway. She go, you raped her. Hey, that's not rape. Because she's not been transformed to her mind. Her mind is America's mind. This is what Paul shows us. Her mind is TV. You raped me. You're not supposed to do what I don't want you to do. So, bro, here she go. I got a headache. As soon as she comes through the door, baby, his ass. I don't know, that's one thing. Good. I'm dressed, get there. That's how you handle that. What the hell is this? And she go, my bad. Oh, my bad. Well, you can just let him stomach, and you be like, then sister get mad because some other woman caught her husband's attention. And then we get the phone calls and the email, my husband ain't right. So look at that phone. What should I tell her? I said, hey, tell her to go to Victoria's Secrets, put on some edible panties, and swing from the chandeliers and work it like a mama should have. Like a big. And you ain't never got to worry about this dude about your phone no more. I'm not gonna move. He gonna get some anyway. She go, you raped me. Hey, that's not rape. Because she's not been transformed to her mind. Her mind is America's mind. This is what Paul shows us. Her mind is TV. You raped me. Okay, so you can go to it yourself and listen to it. I'm not putting words in this man's mouth. And Vocab brought it out. The devil, number one devil. Let's go to another one. Now, you listen to it a couple of times. He basically says the woman's married to the man, right? The man wants some. The woman doesn't want to do anything, whether she got a headache or he's doing it too much, and that's why you need more than one woman. That's why in the kingdom that's going to be settled. You're going to have one man. Average man might have 1,000 women, and of different nations. We are going to have concubines in the kingdom, and that may or may not include Edomite women. So listen to this a couple of times to let it sink in. He basically said that, the woman don't want to do nothing. He takes it anyway. She calls it rape. And then Bishop Nate says, well, she's in an American mind. Of course she's in an American mind because she really doesn't want to be an Israelite. She doesn't see it. She's doing that to please her husband. But then those
the ways of America, this world comes into play. So he just said, I'm gonna play it again. Let me play it again. Play it again, Sam.
Me, you're not supposed to do what I don't want you to do. So, bro, here she go. I got a headache. I got a headache. As soon as she comes through the door, baby, here's an accident. I don't even have to look at this. Good, I'm dressed and get to bed. That's how you handle that. What the hell is this? It's on my back. Oh, my back. Well, you get this lady in the stomach, then you be like, then the sister get mad because some other woman caught her husband's attention. And then we get the phone calls and the emails, my husband ain't right. And so, look at that boy. What should I tell her? I said, hey, tell her to go to Victoria's Secret, put on some edible panties, and swing from the chandeliers and work it like a mama should have work. And you ain't ever got to worry about this dude much porn no more. I'm not gonna move. He gonna get some anyway. She go, you raped me. Hey, that's not rape because she's not been transformed to her mind. Her mind is America's mind. This is what Paul's showing us. Her mind is TV. You raped me. You're not supposed to do what I don't want you to do. So, bro, here she go. I got a headache. I got a headache. As soon as she comes through the door, baby, here's an accident. I don't even have to look at this. Good. I'm dressed and get to bed. That's how you handle that.
Okay, so you heard it more than once. You heard it a couple of times. As you can see, I'm not putting words in his mouth. Vocab didn't put words in his mouth. He said, again, I say this. Okay, it says here, the worst marriage advice you'll ever hear in life. And he, like I said, he says basically she's Americanized. That's why she says that. That's why she said, if I say don't have sex with me and you take it anyway and we're legally married, that's, to her, if she says no, no means no. So he goes into the whole rant about America. That's why you don't bring your women around, man. This is for the men. The Most High is dealing with the men. The flock of my pastor is men. Bring a lot of confusion. Now, the Apostle Paul said, also in 1 Corinthians, let your woman learn silence. If she has anything to ask, let her ask her husband at home. So I'm going to give you another video. Because these Israelites, when the grape doctrine comes up, you have to qualify it. You don't teach, go ahead and, you see, they can hold them on that. They can hold them on that. We teach here when Brother Polite rolled up on us about the whole grape thing, we told him that's what they did in the ancient world, and you can't do it now. Like if we were in our world, of course you can do it. You can't do it now. Anybody that does that, whether he's a part of GMS or whether he's a part of IUIC or ISUPK or Sakari or HOD or any of those groups, any man that's in one of those groups that grape a woman in a legal sense, whether it be statutory, because she might be 15 and he might be 18. That's on him. That's on him. Because if they come back and say, well, GMS said, here's a video of Tahar and Bar and whatever, saying, Carl Ramlab saying that you can do it. Well, when you go to the video and you watch the whole video, you'll see that it's in the ancient world, that's what happened. And in the kingdom, the new kingdom, that's what's going to happen anyway. But it's really not going to happen in the kingdom because we're going to be superstars, man. All Israelite men will be superstars. Our women will be superstars. We're going to be on a higher level. You'll notice a Israelite in the kingdom right away. A whole different demeanor than the other nations. We're going to stick out like a sore thumb, as they say. But in the ancient world, there was a law on that. Now, that doesn't mean that you're talking to a man, you notice the man has a beautiful daughter, and you tell the father, oh, I like your daughter, I'm going to grape her. that doesn't have you're not there. You're going off. But if it happens, it happens. You see a woman in the field, you get aroused. You ask her in order. You say, "Are you married? Are you engaged? Are you betrothed?" And if she says no, might be 12 years old, already developed, and you can't help yourself, and you grab her and start filling up on her, and she might scream, she might say no, she might say yes, and you do it to her, and they be found. Then the law is you have to you know take her in, and then you can't divorce her. You got to stay with her for life. You get tired of her after a couple of years. Well, you can't get rid of her. That's your woman for life. So you got to consider all those things. And on top of that, you're going to have to pay the father 50 shekels of silver. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. And if you go to Judges, around about Judges 19, I'm not going to go to it. The Levite who had the concubine, they killed the concubine. The Benjaminites killed the concubine of the Levite. I'm not going to go into that whole story, but that almost caused the tribe of Benjamin to be done away with. That's why the scriptures say after the fact that they called the tribe of Benjamin Little Benjamin, because they had to build back up. It was almost completely destroyed. I believe it was 400 Benjaminite men left. The children were dead. The boys were dead. The women were dead. All you had was, I believe the count was 400 Benjaminites. And the way they got wives were all the tribes took a vow that they're not going to have their daughters deal with any Benjaminite men because of this act before the war. And what happened was there was these women at Shiloh. They danced. They were young women. They were dancing, and they were told to them that go ahead and grab you, catch you, the woman, and that'll be yours. Now, some of them, I would imagine, captured two of them, whether she liked the man or not. And he went into her, and they had children, and that built back up the nation. Now, the IUIC said that we're talking about, what was this, 2014, 2013, 2014, we were going back and forth. And and they explained it as that was an emergency. Okay, the guy gets riled up, he want to do something, that's an emergency. You got to go to the bathroom. You say, I got to go to the bathroom. It's an emergency. I want some. It's an emergency. I got to have some. Sometimes in a day you arouse more than others. So that's why the law was set in place. So when you got groups like IUIC and any other group that says, well, that doesn't mean that. That means you rap to the girl. No, that's in I believe it's Leviticus. Matter of fact, let me go to that. That means you entice her. Doesn't mean that. Let me go to that. Why am I doing this? Let me do it. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me go to Deuteronomy 22. But if a man find a betrothed damsel, that's not what I want. But unto the damsel thou shalt deliver sin worthy of death. Okay, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not betrothed, engaged, or married, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall by force shall give unto the damsel father 50 shekels of silver. Oh, going back to the Benjaminites and Judges 19, Judges 20. The man, the Levite became a personal priest to another Israelite, and the Israelite said, he said, I'll give you 10 shekels of silver a year. And he immediately said, yes, I'm with it. And I think there was some other things, stipulation to that agreement. But one thing that stuck out was 10 shekels of silver a year. So that means a priest is like a lawyer. That's where you get the lawyer from. Lawyer goes back to Hebrew lawyer, join unto me, because they dealt with the law. So the priest say, oh yeah. So let's deal with an average good lawyer out here. What would a lawyer, if he's working for a corporation, what is he going to ask for? He might ask for $500,000 a year. So you can equate that to this Levite that he made. When the man said 10 shekels of silver, and I think there was other things beyond that too, but initially the money was 10, would show you, oh, by the way, you got guys out there saying, oh, tithes is not money. Well, wait a minute, the Levite got 10 shekels of silver? Yeah, that's money. That's money. The first individual that received tithes was when Abraham gave tithes to Melchizedek. And it said, and the word tithe means a tenth. And what did he say? He said he gave him a tenth of everything that he had. When you go to Genesis 13, it tells you that Abraham had cattle, land, gold, and silver. So what does it mean if he gave him everything that he had? That means he got 10% of the gold, he got 10% of the silver, he got 10% of the cattle, he got 10% of the wheat, the grain, the corn. So it says, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled. Now the word there's ainah, force. The word is force. Her, and a lot of these camps can't see it because they don't go. All of a sudden they don't know the Hebrew. They turn to Christians. He may not put her away all his days, and man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. So let me go here. Let me take this and that conversation on grapes still comes up to this day, and then GMS is mentioned, and a lot of them see it. Yep, Napar Shadar saw it, and she came out and said it. Yep, and she's a woman. Let me do this. See, if you don't teach that, then you're guilty of taking away from the book. And if you take away from the book, you will be cast into the lake of fire. And the lake of fire, according to the IUIC, is you burn forever. So guess what? The IUIC, they're going to burn forever in hell. The whole group, the whole lot of them, they're going to burn forever because they're taking away and adding to the book. And you're going to hell for teaching that there's a hell, which we know that there's no such thing as hell. Nobody's going to go burn in hell forever. Okay, so now let me do this. Okay, I said Leviticus. It was actually in Exodus. Cambridge, because even these scholars know that. See the word right here. See Exodus 22:16-17. Exodus 22:16. It says the sin of seduction before marriage is punishable by a heavy fine. Now, why would the Most High mention it two times in the law? Deuteronomy 22 and then Exodus, because seduction is different from taking a woman. It says intercourse with a virgin, not betrothed, not engaged. The man shall pay a bride price. See on Deuteronomy 22 and 22. It says, and marry her without power of divorce. I think they were trying to put in 20, they put in the wrong verse. Should be 25th verse. For seduction, it's not seduction, it's not seduction. Seduction, this is a different thought. That's why it's in a different place in the scriptures, Exodus 22 and 16. It says, let me come down to 25, 25th verse. Lay hold on her, not the same verb as in Deuteronomy 22, 25, usually explained as what? As rape, because that's what it means, rape. Now I looked up the word, the word rape goes back to the word Greek, like the Latin word raptus, which means to take by force, to take hold of. You know, when countries take down other countries, like Russia is raping Ukraine. That is not necessarily about sex. Is when you overtake something. The word there is ainah, but this is not certain. What do you mean it's not certain? All you got to do is go into Hebrew. Let me read that again. Lay hold on her, which is the word ainah, not the same verb as Deuteronomy 22, 25, usually explained as rape. Yeah, because that's what it is. So now let's go. So you're going off if you say Deuteronomy 22 and 25 is he seduced her. No, he did not. No, it's not talking about that. Let's come over here. When you go into these scriptures, you can't get into your feelings, man. You got to break the scriptures down correctly. And you put your feelings to the side. This is why this is not for women. Okay, right hand, Exodus 22 and 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, not engaged, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. And most likely a father would say yes, unless this guy is a complete scoundrel. Look that word up. Because who's going to marry her after the fact when they know that she was laid with another man? You want a virgin, especially the priest. It says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lies with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrifices unto any god, save the Lord or Yahweh. You know, when you call on Jesus Christ, you're calling on another. Sacrifice is prayer. We give our bodies a living sacrifice, right? Holy and acceptable unto the Lord. Only he shall be utterly destroyed. So what I wanted was this. And if a man entice a maid, so let's look at that means, rap to her, seduce her, not rape her by force. Deuteronomy 22, 25 is rape her by force, take her by force. And if a man entice, let's look up the word entice. You cannot fully understand these scriptures unless you go into the Hebrew in the Old Testament and the Greek in the New Testament. In the case of Daniel, it's Aramaic, which is basically Hebrew. Okay, the word here is patha. entice, deceive, persuade. When you persuade somebody, you're not forcing a person. Flatter. Oh, you're gorgeous. Oh, you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. This, that, and the third. You enticing her. As long as she's not married, if you entice her and you have sex with her, both of you get put to death. Allure, enlarge, silly one, silly. Yeah, you make them laugh. You open women up by making them laugh. You tell them something and they laugh at it, they giggle about it, or they talking to you and they giggling. That most likely means that they feeling you. To be spacious, be open. You know, I think I got this chick open. Be wide, to be spacious or open or wide, to make spacious, make open, to be simple, entice, persuaded, deceive, to be open-minded, be simple, be naive, to be enticed, be deceived, to be deceived, to be gullible, to be gullible. So it's talking about a woman that's developing, 11, 12 years old. She don't know, she never had sex with no man, and you're persuading her. You know, you're talking smooth. Oh, you a woman now. You a woman now. This, that, and the third. Let me see. So I explained it. Now let me come to another video here. Wait me for a minute. Okay, there's another video. And listen up, listen up, listen up. Because you got to come around to the truth. So, you know, IUIC is coming, they're slowly coming around, but they're coming around. Just like with the Charagma. Bishop Nate is coming around because he changed his story. He said the Charagma is an embargo, and then it's talking only about nations and corporations. Now he's saying it's talking about people actually getting it, but people what they're getting is sin. What they're getting is sin. So now let's listen to this. Fair use, fair use, fair use. It's entitled How to Fix Women. IUIC, How to Fix Women.
City, some of the men will rape you to correct the nature within you to make it go back to the masculine that you're supposed to desire. That's what they call corrective rape.
But that need to come in America.
Yeah, that's what they call corrective rape.
But that need to come in America.
Yeah.
But that need to come in America.
Yeah. Corrective rape.
That need to come in America.
Yeah. Corrective rape. The men of the city, some of the men will rape you to correct the nature within you to make it go back to the masculine that you're supposed to desire. That's what they call corrective rape.
But that need to come in America.
Yeah, that's what they call corrective rape.
But that need to come in America.
Brother, I forget the brother's name. Anyway, somebody give me his name, the Levite brother. Anyway, they're going through Judges 19, verse 25, and I mentioned that about the woman that danced at Shiloh, and it was, you know, the Israelite took a vow that we're not going to have our daughters, you know, get with any Benjaminite because of the act that they committed, you know, and gang raping a woman to death, which caused a war. So they separated from Benjamin. The tribe separated from Benjamin, and a war ensued. So they almost got taken out as a tribe. So they had there were 400 men. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm positive it was 400 men. No women, no children of Benjamin. And that was a brutal war. When children were getting put to death, that was a brutal war, man. Anyway, they had to find women to build back up the nation. but they took a vow. So who did they get with? They had to get with the woman in Shiloh. Shiloh, read the story. And it said, catch ye them, catch ye them. So I gotta get this whole video to see what he's talking about, but he's obviously focusing on that account. And he says he used the example of corrective rape. Now, these women of Shiloh, I don't know if I doubt if he's saying this. These women of Shiloh were not, you know, they were not, you know, moes. They were just women that was dancing at a festival. But so he uses the word corrective rape. Now I looked the word up, corrective rape, and that's what it means. If a woman is in a lot of African countries, you know, do that. All you got to do is look it up. Just put in corrective rape in Google, and it'll give you the definition, tell you the countries that allow it. If a woman, is one of them, you get a man to rape her to get her psychology back so she can dig on men. But the scriptures say put her to death. So it's obvious these women, the woman of Shiloh, they were not moes. All right. So then the Levite brother, he said that needs to come to America. So what is he saying? I don't know why the Levite brother's not down with GMS. He's saying that needs to come to America. What needs to come to America? Corrective rape. So are they changing their tune? Okay, so let's go over here. Okay, so I looked up the word, I put in the word grape minus the G, and there's a lot of information there, right? It says rape is the type of sexual assault involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without their consent. So the example that the bishop Nathaniel used was, if you're married to a woman, she got a headache, you can go ahead and take it anyway. But you're in America. Remember, you the same individual that says, oh, we don't use Yahweh Shai because Jake doesn't understand the word. They can't pronounce the word Yahweh. You can pronounce it. They can't look, even Vocab Malone he pronounces Yahweh and Yahweh Shai correctly. That's why we use the word Jesus, because they don't. Well, wait a minute. You're saying that if you're married in America under the IUIC, you get a license in New York. Grape is grape, brother, whether you were Israelite or Muslim or not. So if she was to call the police, they would took him and locked his ass up. So now they got something on you. Well, the reason why he did what he did, because he was listening to the leadership of the IUIC, and here's the video. Let's check out the video. So that's why we qualified it, man. We qualified it, and Jake still got stupid. That's why the Most High is going to take the majority of you out. So let's continue reading. Oh, and grape is big in Africa. Grape is big in Africa. It says, especially Botswana. Botswana, it's almost, it's 92, 93%. So we're talking 9 out of 10 girls are getting raped in Botswana. In Botswana, I checked out Botswana. I went to different videos, and they're rhythmic. They're Israelites, the people of Botswana. So are the Zulus. They're Israelites. Shaka Zulu is an Israelite. It said grape is a type of sexual assault involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without their consent. Well, the bishop Nathaniel said, "No, you're married to her, so you can do it." She said, "She's in an American mindset." Well, guess what? She's in an American mindset because she's in America. It says, the act may be carried out by physical force, coercion, is compelling a party to act in an involuntary manner by the use of threats, including threats to use force against a party. It involves a set of forceful actions such which violate the free will of an individual in order to induce a desired response. These actions may include extortion, blackmail. It says abuse of authority, abuse of authority. You got that in the workforce, or against a person who is incapable of giving valid consent. If she's asleep, if she's drugged up, such as one who is unconscious, incapacitated as an intellectual disability, or is below the legal age of consent. The term now here in the States, depending on what state you're in, I believe in New York is I believe it's 18, in Boston it's 16. The term, but it's not in the Bible. There's no age in the Bible. It says the term rape is sometimes used interchangeably with the term sexual assault. The rate of reporting, persecuting, and prosecuting and convicting the rape varies between jurisdictions. Internationally, the incidents of rape recorded by the police during 2008 range per 100,000 people from 0.2 in Azerbaijan to 92.9, 93% in Botswana. And the people of Botswana, for the most part, are Israelites. So the IUIC, if you're against rape and you're getting on us, you guys should take a trip down to Botswana and go talk to them and tell them not to do it. With 6.3 in Lithuania as the median. Worldwide sexual violence, including rape, is primarily committed by males against females. Rape by strangers is usually less common than rape by people the victim knows, and it's always like that. It's always like that, for the most part. Now, when we go against another nation in the ancient world, there's a law on that. You just can't take a woman in the field and just deal with her. You got to take her with you. You got to put it in your house. You can't touch it for 30 days, a month, moon cycle, and take off the clothes of her captivity, and then pare her nails and her, cut her hair, cut her nails, and then that woman becomes your wife, whether she likes it or not. You give her a grace period of 30 days so she can mourn her parents. The Midianites in Numbers 31, Moses cursed out the men of war of Israel because they said, "Look, you can't be laying with the women that have been married, even if the husband is dead." Moses said, "Kill all the men, kill all the women that had husbands, kill all the boys, the infant boys, just kill them." And say, and that's genocide right there. That's genocide, because who do you got left? the young girls of the Midianites. So when these men of war of Israel, of the nation of Israel, lay with these young women, if they were 8, they wouldn't touch them. They'll let them develop to be about 11, 12 years old. They'll have them locked down or something, and then they'll go into them, and then the children that come out of them are Israelites. See, an Israelite man can bring forth an Israelite man or woman with any nation's woman. No such thing as a half breed. Any Israelite out there using the term half breed, you don't understand the scriptures. No such thing as a half breed. You are what you are based upon what your father is. Okay, so it says here, I'm gonna give you some examples. Example given: widespread and systematic grape, war grape, wartime sexual violence is rape or other forms of sexual violence committed by combatants during armed conflict, war, or military occupation, often as spoils of war. Scriptures say booty, which is spoils of war. So that's the spoil. You took the gold, you took the silver, you took the garments, you took whatever valuables you took from the person. You took the person's sword, the spear, and then you took the if the man had daughters, you would say, save the daughters if they look good. That's Deuteronomy 21. And then you would, like I said, you would let them mourn their parents for a moon cycle. And then you go into them. And then after a while, she'll get used to it. When she starts having children, she'll love her children, which are Israelites. Now in Nehemiah, what is that? Nehemiah 13. Nehemiah cursed Israel out because they would fall in love with the women of these other nations. And they were teaching their children basically, you're half Israelite and half whatever. Because they were speaking 2 languages. Fuck the language of the other nations, man. In the kingdom of heaven, there's only going to be one language in the kingdom, and that's Hebrew. And you Edomites will understand rudimentary Hebrew. It says combatants during armed conflict, war, or military occupation, often as spoils of war, but sometimes, like in the U.S. military, if you take over a village and you rape the woman, and it comes back to the brass, they'll lock you up for raping a woman. But wait a minute, this goes back to the ancient world. This is why we know that this is the land of confusion, Babylon the Great. It says often as spoils of war, but sometimes, particularly in ethnic conflicts, the phenomenon has broader psychological motives, wartime sexual violence. So anyway, right, it's right here, see? It says acquaintance rape, campus rape, that occurs big time. Campus rape, corrective rape, and then Bishop Nathaniel mentioned it, which is a LGBT victim. Date rape, gang rape, genocidal rape, and I just explained that in the scriptures. When you kill all the males in a society, that's genocide. That's genocide. Gray rape, what the hell is that? Live streaming rape. Marital rape, prison rape, rape chant, serial rape, statutory rape, unacknowledged rape, rape by deception. That's when that's Exodus 22:16. Okay, so let me see. Okay, marital rape. Marital rape or spousal rape is the act of sexual intercourse with one's spouse without the spouse's consent. The lack of consent is the central element and need not involve physical violence. Marital rape is considered a form of domestic violence and sexual abuse, although historically, sexual intercourse. I'm not going to read the rest, but you got the main part of it, right? So, when Bishop Nathaniel made that statement, they can use that against him. Anything that you say or do may be held against you in the court of law. A guy that's in IUIC rapes his woman, a marital rape, they arrest him, they question him, and he says, well, this is the religion that I'm in. It's all right to do it. What religion are you in? I'm a Hebrew Israelite. And they first like GMS. We got GMS as a GMS member. What group are you in? I'm in the IUIC under Bishop Nathaniel. Then it's going to go back to Bishop Nathaniel. See, Esau can stretch. That's why you got to be careful what you say. That's why we told Brother Polite, we qualified it. We said in the ancient world, that's what you did. You can't do it now. We even said that, but Jake don't want to hear it. Anyway, I think I said enough. With that, I'm going to say shalom.